This is the story of Final Fantasy XIV, patch 3.1. As goes light, so goes darkness. Now, where we left off at the end of Heavensward, patch 3.0, the Dravanians and the Ishgardians were coming to terms of peace. But Nidhogg still stirs and has feelings of vengeance ever on his mind. Let's get started. At Manor Fortemps, Tataru says there's no news for the whereabouts of Thancred and Minfilia, but a Sharlayan scholar, who is a student of Baldesion, is on their way to help. Alphino says Ser Aymeric wishes to speak with them. He says he has temporarily become the Archbishop, but the clergy and the high houses are supposed to name a new one.
But in light of recent events, that would not seem appropriate.
Alphino remarks that he's surprised at how quickly Aymeric revealed the truth to the people, but he defends his decision.
After 1,000 years of lies and secrecy, I could not well abuse their trust and hope to be believed. The time for deception has passed.
But then he says unrest is growing, and what they need is a definitive end to the Dragonsong War.
And we should be glad to help you, Ser Aymeric. But what precisely would you have us do?
Aymeric asks the heroes to escort Lucia to annex Trine so she can meet with Vidofnir, and they agree to it. The heroes introduce Vidofnir and Lucia. Lucia humbly speaks about the sins of Ishgard's past, the lies, and the new hope of peace with the dragons. Vidofnir says they're preoccupied with the Nath again, but otherwise declines to comment until she can speak with her sire. Lucia remains hopeful, and they part ways, with the hero and Alphino heading to Idyllshire. Outside Idyllshire, Y'shtola says the Sharlayan scholar will be arriving any second now.
Pray, allow me to introduce Krile, who has recently come from the Sharlayan motherland. She has generously offered to assist us.
Oh please, think nothing of it. A trip to Eorzea was long overdue.
She meets the Warrior of Light, then Alphino says he knew her as a child, and she proceeds to embarrass him.
Mayhap we should save this delightful conversation for a more fitting occasion, when pressing matters do not demand our undivided attention.
Krile then explains that she might be able to find Thancred using Matoya's crystal eye, so they head to her cave.
Is that trouble I smell? Or did you forget to wipe your boots on the way in?
Krile introduces herself as a student of Baldesion and mentions that their island recently vanished, but the Blessing of Light protected her.
Krile, you too possess the Echo.
She confirms and says this led her to meeting Minfilia.
Yes, that's all well and good, but you still haven't told me why you're here.
Krile asks if she may use the crystal eye to track down the missing Scions, and Matoya retrieves it.
You could travel the length and breadth of the land and not find a crystal even a fraction as pure. Its value is beyond measure.
Thank you, Master Matoya. From the Black Shroud, the trail continues to the north and west, towards a mountain, the foot of Som Al.
The heroes head to Tailfeather to speak to those familiar with the land. Near Tailfeather, Alphino shows the others his drawings of Thancred, and Y'shtola is impressed with his skill. In town, they split up and ask around about Thancred, showing the sketches. He has, in fact, been seen in the area. Next, they ask the nearby Vath tribe, the friendly, untempered Naths the hero helped earlier. They know Thancred and say their primal was recently summoned, and that Thancred headed to his lair. As the heroes approach the primal's lair, they hear a commotion. In this vision, these mysterious heroes are talking about saving the world and fighting an Ascian.
Fools playing at heroes, all of you. Is this how you believe you can save your world?
We can and we will, Ascian. You shall see.
Or perhaps you will not!
So you are the Warrior of Light, the savior of Eorzea. It's a wonder you didn't come sooner, what with the primal and all. Lost a step, have we?
It would seem we share a common enemy. Mayhap you would tell us who you are.
Shall we show them? our faces, warrior of light, for we are the warriors of darkness, walkers of a different path, and we shall meet again.
Warriors of darkness? Really?
Thancred! Are you all right?
Thancred is happy to see familiar faces, and they catch up in a safe area nearby.
If nothing else, you might have warned me that I would emerge from the live stream in the Altogether.
He explains that he hunted to survive and Anath tailored his clothing. Then he heard of the Primal and figured if he lingered around, surely the Scions would appear. None of them expected to see these warriors of darkness, though.
If these warriors are capable of doing battle with Ascians and Primals both, they must be possessed of powerful protection. Protection not unlike the Echo.
The Scions are baffled at how they've gone unnoticed all this time and can't see how their goals are opposed to the Scions. Thancred is saddened to learn that Minfilia is still missing. They report back to Vidofnir, saying that the Primal was slain, but not by the Scions. Vidofnir is pleased and has good news after speaking with her father, Hraesvelgr. She says they've accepted the offer of peace and she will fly to Ishgard herself on behalf of the dragons. Alphino is pleased, but wishes Giselle were present to witness it. Meanwhile, in Ishgard, a street thug collides with Ser Aymeric. The Scions arrive in Ishgard and inform Lucia of the good news from Vidofnir, which she's happy to hear, but then they learn about Aymeric having been stabbed. Hilda says his injuries are being treated, but that there is unrest in the city. Lucia leaves to help put out fires, and Thancred says he wants to question gossiping people around town for info behind the fires. They split into two groups. The hero and Thancred question Amenelaine among others, but learn little of use. Thancred notices that buildings important to the church seem to have sustained the least damage, if any. Rejoining Alphino, they find he's already detained a suspect. From Thancred's clever interrogation, they learn that a highborn master hired him as an arsonist. The heroes meet with Lucia once the arrested man is taken in.
I do not mean to diminish our accomplishments, but until we identify the ones who ordered the fires set, our work is far from finished.
Aymeric walks in, mostly recovered, and says there are many powerful people in the city who would be resistant to the recent changes. A temple knight bursts in, breathless.
Lord Commander, an armed mob has seized control of the vault. They, the true brothers of the faith, demand that a conclave to select the next archbishop be held forthwith. Furthermore, they declare that you, Lord Commander, are guilty of patricide and high treason, and that you must surrender yourself at once to receive of the Fury's judgment.
He says they have taken hostages.
If the hostages are to be rescued, it will be by force, I fear.
Ser Aymeric agrees and starts giving out orders, then says he will personally lead the assault on the vault. The Scions and Lord Artoirel agree to help.
Your assistance is most welcome, Lord Artoirel. To arms then, friends. Time is against us.
The group of them enter the vault, rescue the hostages, and confront the true brothers of the faith. After defeating them, they proceed to the balcony only to witness a vault priest threatening a child.
Come no closer!
Release the girl and surrender.
Ungodly swine! I would sooner die than surrender to you.
Is it godly to spill the blood of an innocent child? To burn the homes of your brothers? Tell me, priest, is that godly?
Do not speak to me of godliness, heathen! Your father's blood is on your hands, as is hers!
Fortune delivered the child unto me. I had but to receive her.
Never did I think to be indebted to so unexpected a savior. But full glad am I to be so.
Vidofnir greets them warmly, then warns them that Nidhogg is on the move before taking back to the skies. Aymeric tells Count Fortemps that this moment, witnessed by many, was very fortunate and should serve to settle people's hearts on ending the war with the dragons. The Count has hesitations, though.
I share your desire for lasting peace with the Tavanians, I do. But I would not see it built on the bones of our countrymen, nor on our own. I see much of Horschiffon in you, and I could not bear to mourn the passing of another son.
As the dust settles, Y'shtola speaks to the hero alone. She says that Thancred's ether has been irreparably changed by the teleportation magic, and she suspects he can no longer wield magic. The hero returns to Manor Fortemps.
That Vidofnir should chance to arrive even as the girl fell. Truly, I could not have planned it better myself.
Artoirel enters and gifts the hero a brand new Ishgardian shield.
An expression of our gratitude to you and yours. Long overdue.
He then reveals that his father is going to step down as Count to relieve any suspicion for recent events.
Thus he intends to renounce his title to absolve our house of suspicion and secure the support of our peers.
Artoirel says his whole life he's been excited at the prospect of becoming the Count one day, but now that the day has come, he isn't so sure.
Our legacy is built upon the lies of our forefathers. In accepting this title, am I not perpetuating this injustice? Why should I become the next Count?
The hero gives him encouragement, but the jealous younger brother Emanelaine leaves, so Artoirel apologizes and follows him. Meanwhile, Urianger, Elidibus, and the Warrior of Darkness meet in a dark room full of books, and it appears that there may be an eavesdropper. Somewhere near Alamigo, Ida speaks about attacking Imperials, while Papalymo says they need to attend to their other responsibilities. And patch 3.1 ends there. If you want to see what happens next, check out the video for patch 3.2. See you next time.